The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests.
What is going on, my Go Squad? Welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 341. Today's date, for the record, is Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. We are streaming live, as always, on YouTube to over 150 countries worldwide. If you're out there in the live chat, go ahead and say something. We don't know that you're out there unless you do. If you're watching this in replay or listen to this in podcast form, the conversation does not have to end right now. Go ahead and utilize that comment section and let us know just how sexy we are and how bad the show is and all of that. More importantly, if you're doing this on podcast, go ahead and rate, review, and share, if you will. If you want to text into the show, yes, you can text into the show. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends over at Wilder Tactical. That number is 530-364-4678. And make sure you go check out our good friends over at wildertactical.com. They got all sorts of really cool, great gear over there. Probably the best battle belts in the world. They've got med kits. They've got all sorts of cool stuff. Mag pouches, whatever you need to be the urban cowboy that you are. They'll help you out over there. WilderTactical.com. And as mandatory carry out there says, no refunds, folks. That's right, folks. We do not promise to make you any smarter. Honestly, we just hope not to make you any dumber out there. If you are a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in that dark place and you're looking for the light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I might be able to talk you through some stuff. Most importantly, I can probably just be a good person to listen to anything and everything that you need to get off your chest. If you are looking to get some medical attention, remember two things. One, you're not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way possible. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please, utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255. Veterans, press the number 1. We are spotlighting, as always, the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title of United States Marine, see the website marines.com. And as always, we're a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network. Go check out all your favorite pro gun, pro 2A podcasts over at selfdefenseradio.net. And starting today, we are officially proud members of the Firearms Radio Network. I've been working with Krista over the last couple of days, getting everything set up on the back end. She was working on it. I get stuff uploaded and all that, but we are now official members of the Firearms Radio Network. So go check out firearmsradio.net. See some really cool podcasts. Clover's over there. So if they let him in, they'll let anybody in. If they let me in, they'll definitely let anybody in. But yeah, it's great. It's a cool place. Really great. And they're going to be expanding a lot of other really cool podcasts. So if you're familiar with it, but you haven't been over there in a while, they're going to start adding a bunch of new horses to the stable, if you will. And if you've never been over to Firearms Radio Network, you need to. They got a lot of great podcasts over there. Sean, those guys do a great job.
Shetland ponies in our case, I think.
Shetland ponies in our case, and maybe even some mules,
Jackasses, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely some jackasses. But yeah, looking forward to that. Let's get this off of our ugly mug and say hello to the League of Pirates, if you will, for tonight. From Anderson Manufacturing, which we're going to have something cool happen here in a little while. We have Kyle. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, Trey? Thanks for having me on, brother.
Absolutely. What's up, brother? So how was NRAAM for you? We'll go dive deep into here a little bit, but overall, positive, negatives, what do you think?
Man, I know I said this. How many NRAAM? This is number 3 for me.
Yeah.
And I say it every time. It's just an awesome opportunity to get to talk to our end user. Usually we're talking to distributors, dealers, things like that. So
freaking media idiots. Yeah.
Well, yeah, those guys. I don't even mention
those guys are terrible.
Yeah, you know how that goes. But
I do.
No, it is a great opportunity to get some feedback from like boots on the deck perspective. So
yeah,
always great, man. Always great. And then I get to see you guys. So that's a bit.
I'm glad you got to see me. So yeah, it is what it is. And here in a little while, you guys were running an NRAAM special. Oh God, you guys are such tool bags. You guys are running a thing at NRAAM for giveaway of an AM-15 Spectre rifle, and I think it's pretty cool. You're going to announce the winner of that tonight live on air. So we're looking forward to that here in a little while. And all
yes,
that.
Sir. Absolutely. I do have a special request for that. I need John and Clovertack and yourself, Ghosts, to start working on your drum rolls because I don't have the sound effect.
Can you hear that?
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Gotcha. We got your back. Way back, but we got your back.
Nah, thanks for having me on, brother.
Absolutely, bro. We'll have fun tonight. Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a Ginger, my lord, and a flatbed Ford from the Gun Owners of America and fully loaded reviews. We've got John, the Ginger Soulless Bastard. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Tuesday.
Special teams. Tuesday.
Us.
Rob's like, what the hell did I just join?
Nah,
what is going on?
Probably shouldn't. You probably don't want to know. Let's be honest.
All right. Well, I mean, I was late. I'm not responsible for anything that was said.
This is true.
So far.
So
also, that was. Did you? So fortunately, John, you did not get kicked out of NRAAM.
No, I did not.
You were laying low as a media personality and celebrity instead of GOA's marketing. So yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I had a great show from a GOA perspective. We got a bunch of vendors who want to sign up for our show in August. So that was great. Also, by the way, State of the Second is also on Firearms Radio Network, if you didn't know. Putting that out there,
I didn't want to mention that's it.
Such a first-rate podcast. I mean, we have such great guests on there.
You do. Has a great guest. One in particular. One
in particular. This week's episode is going to be with Liberty Doll, so that should be good.
Is she still around? No offense. I hadn't seen anything from her in a while. I wasn't sure if she was still doing anything. I know she was pregnant at one point, so I thought maybe she just dropped off the face of the earth after that.
No, she is. No, she had her babies, and she came on the podcast and hanging out. And it was a good time.
Fantastic.
Now, do you want some 2A news?
I do. What's give me? Well, we got Rob here. Who's going to talk a little about NRAAM.
I want to hear 2A news.
No, we are. But I'll let people know that we've only got Rob for a little bit, or as long as he wants to. But a lot of stuff happened yesterday at the first board of directors meeting. We're going to talk a little about that. So, John, 2A Tuesday, what you got for us? There was a big court decision, was there?
Yes. Not? So we got a temporary restraining order on the UBC. So that is to all GOA members, that is a temporary restraining order for them and the state of Texas. And without it being in front of me, there's a couple other people on that UBC restraint TRO. Now we have it. We're going to continue to fight it. We're going to fight the UBC all the way through, but we did get the temporary restraining order for all GOA members. So if you are a GOA member, you are covered under our TRO, just like the pistol brace thing.
That's good news.
That is
good
big
job.
News.
That's big news. And I think there's bigger news, I think, a couple months down the line, probably. So,
yeah. So that's my 2A Tuesday.
There you go. Riding shotgun, as always, from the great state of Texas, the gatekeeper of Texas pride, or some kind of pride. I'm not real sure, but at least Texas pride. The tactical virus. I mean, Leprechaun himself. What's up, Clove?
Holla.
Holla. Making it rain, baby. Let it rain. Let it
Yeah.
rain. Let it rain.
Yeah.
You got a shotgun for us, bud? Shotgun
Dude, how
buddy?
about that? How about that bull pump from Tokarev?
I was gonna say if that wasn't
Right.
mentioned, I was gonna mention it from Tokarev, was it not?
Yeah, it was Tokarev. Buddies over at SDS.
Or was it what? It wasn't
Tokarev.
Mac. It was Tokarev, wasn't it? I'm just
Tokarev.
making
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It
Okay.
was Tokarev. It was Tokarev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was at SDS. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty cool. Once again, I'm a bullpup fan. I enjoy bullpup, but having a bullpup pump action shotgun is pretty interesting, pretty wild.
Yeah. I may have a video drop on that in a few days. Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, with it taking the 1919 mags, I think that's kind of neat. But then also it's got like a last round bolt hold open
It
on a
does.
pump, which is like strange to me.
Yeah. What I liked about it is going to come because of different regulations and all. It's going to come with what basically looks like a hand stop underneath the pump that you're going to use, but it's also going to come with a vert grip. And
Well, you can put whatever you want on it.
you
too.
can put everything, but it's going to come in the box. It's
Yeah.
going to come with a vert grip also. Which
Yeah.
I'm not a huge vert grip guy, but I think for something like that, I think it'd be awesome for that pump action.
So I'll go ahead and give a spoiler alert here. Assuming that I do ever get one, that will be my first bullpup because I don't like them.
I know you don't.
But I, we're friends with SDS. I would help them out and work with it. I've already got a plan for that. I'm gonna modify or maybe even 3D print like a chainsaw brake
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
that mount. Yeah, I think that could be awesome.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
And it'd be easy. I think it'd be easy to do, it being a pick rail mount for that.
Yeah, that could
And
be interesting.
it would look cool that way.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool actually. Yeah. We're gonna get into here in a little bit the NRAAM discussion, but I know I want to bring Rob in because we only got him for a short time. First of all, thanks for coming on, bud. From Avidity Arms, also the executive vice president of 2AO. This guy is possibly the most polarizing person in 2A.
I don't know.
And I wanted to see your reaction. No. I love it. I love it.
Own it.
I
Own it, Rob.
No,
Own it.
hell no. It is not even close, but you might as well own it. No. I know that
I think I'd have more web traffic if I was.
Well, you would think, right?
Yeah.
I know that you were a busy guy doing all of the Avidity stuff and the federal stuff and then all the NRA stuff. A new board was elected this weekend, and then they went into, I guess it's executive. Is it just a board meeting? They go into executive session on Monday. What do they call that?
So let's there's a lot of machinations, right? There's a lot of bylaws and Robert's Rules of Orders and parliamentary procedure, and the terminologies all overlap, right? And sometimes even in trying to write about this concisely with an Instagram post, or can't even bother trying to write it anything meaningful in the space they give you at X or Twitter. But it's hard because you're talking about the members at the members meeting who talk to the board members about newly elected board members and what the members want. And it's like, what are you talking about, Rob? Like, seriously.
Right.
So it's very hard to.
And then they go in on Monday after the show's over, and they had to elect executive directors and appoint different people, which is even crazier,
So Monday is the board meeting. So yesterday was the actual meeting of the NRA board of directors. The meeting that takes place on Saturday is the meeting of the members.
The members.
Board members also participate, and the officers run it. The officers of the NRA are board members and those appointed by the board. So, for example, Wayne LaPierre was not a board member. He was the executive vice president, an officer position, but that officer position is appointed by the board.
Appointed, so he was,
president of the NRA, the first vice president, and the second vice president are board members. Then you've got other officer positions, the CFO, for
Yeah,
example.
you've got the ILA director. You've got
That's
publications.
ILA is its whole other thing.
And then, but there was a new there was a publications director. Because the former publications is now the new.
Yeah, I feel
executive,
like
I don't know.
Because you're.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So actually, in talking, once you start talking about like publications director, that's just an employee of the organization that is the NRA. Then
and
you
they're
talk
not
about
board members or appointed.
Well, they could be, right? See, that's where it gets confusing. There is no, and
people wonder why the NRA is just on fire right now. It's because no one can tell what the hell's going on. Right?
Well, some of it is purposefully vague, and that's what that's one of the main things that the reform movement is all about. If you go all the way back, and this has been going on a lot longer than 2019, but a lot of it went public in 2019. Right. If you go back to that 2019 meeting, I said we need transparency. Right. That was the bottom line point to fix any problem.
They try to get you kicked out.
We need transparency. And if you go to this year's members meeting, after the back and forth with the now former president, the president of the NRA at the time, when he refuted something I had said rather innocuously, because generally the reformists were trying to keep Saturday pretty calm because we knew yesterday was going to be really important, and we needed collaborators and alliances that didn't want to see us, as antagonists on Saturday. But because the president, former president, Charles Cotton, called me back up to just blatantly lie and misrepresent what this resolution that was being debated was all about, I had to call out the fact that not only it was actually written by a board member, but it was written by an officer sitting up on the stage with him. So that officer did admit that he wrote the resolution that was submitted as a member resolution. I thanked him for the transparency. And then I actually shook his hand. We had a chat yesterday in the hallway outside of the board meeting. And he had no ill will towards me. I think sometimes these guys, it's almost like a relief that some of this stuff comes out in the open. He didn't say that explicitly, but that was sort of the body language I got. And I was really glad for him to be honest. But it took asking a very direct question in a very public forum to get that to happen. And that's what we're trying to fight against. So good news is that the members of the NRA, right, the big everybody members, in the election on the ballots that were sent out back in like February, voted for overtly reform-oriented candidates onto the board. And 3 of the 4 were in the top 5 vote getters. Side by side with that, 2 past presidents of the NRA did not get reelected to the board. Both of those things are incredibly significant. And a lot of it comes in the wake of the guilty verdict in January in the New York AG's office, and the fact that Wayne LaPierre has now resigned. Wayne LaPierre does have to pay millions of dollars back to the NRA, to the members, and the board and the establishment, the legacy leadership. I think primarily they're at least worried, if not afraid. And a lot of them now have jumped ship and I would say are leaning towards reform or pushing for reform behind closed doors. They may not have come out of the closet yet.
Right.
The votes yesterday in the actual board meeting,
a little disturbing to me,
that the message has been heard pretty loudly from the members. Now, membership is down, money is down, donating is down. The exhibitors were down. Attendance at the show was way down.
It was terrible.
There's a number out there, 72,000.
72,000. There is maybe combined for 3 days.
Those numbers are always combined, but they're combined for all the shows. There's not,
but that's every one of these trade shows. Way there's 72,000.
Yeah, if somebody goes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they're counted 3 times in that.
3 times. Yeah.
But that number still doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, they moved the leadership forum foolishly from Friday to Saturday, and that meant that you had between 5,000 and 7,000 people tied up all day for the leadership forum. They weren't on the show floor. And I've always thought that has always confused me, why NRA members who on the internet are pounding the table saying shall not comply, disarm and stand in line and sit in a room to hear the same old canned speeches from the same old people when they're supposed to be there to mingle with other NRA members and celebrate Second Amendment rights and see the new stuff out on the show floor. Right. So I know a lot of major companies were voicing their disdain to the people that run the event. So there was a lot of change, but I think most importantly, the thing that I want to share with people is, if you look at my social media posts from yesterday, because I did end up staying for the board meeting, I was assured by several board members, including some who are not openly reformists, that it was incredibly unlikely that it was going to go into executive session right away. They really believed that the elections were going to be held in public because they're hearing the transparency call very loudly now. So I changed my flights. I stayed, and it did turn out that it didn't go into executive session. And that vote was close. It was so close that I was
37 to 30, I think. Is that what I saw?
I want to say maybe after the officers were counted, it may have been low 30s to the high 20s, with a lot of, which means a lot of people didn't vote. And that's one of the problems, is we have a lot of people that don't want to come out on the record one way or the other. And that vote was taken by hands raised in the air. So it had to be an open vote. The voting that came later was secret ballot. So people didn't have to be on the record. And that's where it really looked bad for a minute, because the reform slate of candidates was led by Owen Buzz Mills, the guy who owns Gunsight, businessman. He's been a very vocal critic of the NRA legacy leadership. I think it took him a little bit to get there. He wasn't there with us in 2019, but he certainly is there. He testified in the New York AG's case about basically, the quote was unsalvageable in regard to the current NRA board.
That's pretty strong.
So that was used against him in the campaigning in the room, and he did not win. Congressman Bob Barr won. Barr is a very dynamic speaker. He's very well educated on this topic. He's a libertarian, really. I think libertarian masking as a conservative, maybe in certain times, but he is. If he weren't tied in so many people's eyes to Wayne LaPierre and the legacy,
he's considered one of LaPierre's boys almost.
Yeah, he would be an outstanding choice for president. And I can't say that I'm incredibly unhappy to think of him as the president, particularly because the rest of the slate won. And there have been a lot of other significant changes. Just as of an hour or two ago, it's come out that the general counsel has been replaced. There were a lot of, he's been a gentleman to me. He's been very helpful, I think, and honest in his job as secretary. But John Fraser has had some problems brought up in terms of his service as general counsel, and he has been replaced. That's great. We know, as you were mentioning, Doug Hamlin. Doug Hamlin, I know just from his job running publications.
Yep.
He was a surprise. He's pretty neutral. But here's the important thing. Doug Hamlin beat Ronnie Barrett, who was a great American, but was also part of the establishment for the EVP position. John Fraser clearly has been, part of the establishment for a long time there. Another one that's important to understand is Mark Vaughn, who has not been really openly, banging a drum for reform, but was part of the candidates for change, let's say, probably the least known of them to me personally and to a lot of the other reformers. He won, but who he beat is incredibly important, because he beat one of the staunchest defenders of Wayne LaPierre and one of the most establishment guys, Tom King from New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, who gets a lot of credit for, being the head of the case, the head of the organization that won us the Bruin case. But he was installed in that position because of his relationship with the NRA. So yesterday was mostly really, really good news. What's going to happen now? I don't know. As I said, even if it had gone perfectly for reform yesterday and the whole weekend, it's the beginning, because we now have we have enough votes. It's not one person, two people, three winks and a nudge. We at least have, I think my list right now running has 12 board members, again, of 76, but 12 board members who are openly speaking for reform. Obviously, it's Jeff Knox, which is kind of, no one saw that coming, that he would actually get on the board ever.
I was pleasantly, don't get me wrong, pleasantly shocked. But that's awesome that Jeff Knox is on the board.
So getting him on the board is huge. Rocky Marshall, obviously, Phil Journey, and Dennis Fusaro that were on the reform ballot. You have Amanda Suffolk, who probably surprised a lot of people by coming out very vocally for reform very recently, really starting, I think, maybe on Saturday. It became very obvious that she was aligned with reform. Another one, Mark Robinson. Who's running for governor in, Mark Robinson, Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina. He's running for governor. He was very vocal about the need for change at the organization, and that's new. I think, for him to be taking that strong a position for reform. So Jim Wallace just posted about being part of a gang of 12 that helped push for change and reform. And he was the candidate of choice. One of the candidates of choice by the establishment, a few years ago. So seeing him get back on the board, which was a grassroots thing, a lot of people trusted that he was going to be doing the right thing and voted for him for the 76th seat on the board at the meeting on Saturday. And he made a post earlier this afternoon talking about how the members have been heard and people are changing their minds and things are moving in the right direction. Now, with all that said, they're almost insolvent. Bankruptcy is looming. Bill Brewer is still the legal counsel. He demanded a payment of something up to $20 million last week, and he was given it immediately. Now that's money he was owed, but I think the timing of when he demanded that money with the writing on the wall of what was happening this weekend was very interesting. Now the CFO did stand up in the meeting and sort of lamented the fact that she is at the heart of these rumor mills, and but all she said was that yes, there was a payment made, and no, it wasn't $20 million. She didn't say it wasn't 19.7. And she didn't share if that payment was. But again, I think the message is being heard and moving in the right direction. And I still hold the position that no, you should not renew your membership. No, you should not encourage anybody else to. It's not worth the vote you cast as a new member. If you're a life member and you already have it paid for, should you be active and should be voting? Absolutely.
It's going to take some time. Let's just be honest. And
it is.
It's going to take some time
we need to continue to be putting pressure on the organization. The pressure on the organization isn't, F off NRA. I'm going to support my state organization or any of the other great organizations that are out there nationally. Obviously, I've done work with GOA. I've put money into it, put money into SAF for years, done work with them. FPC, we do things with them. We put money into them. I'm not putting any money into the NRA, but I'm putting a lot of energy into the NRA. And that's what I think gun owners should be doing, is just putting pressure on them and almost let them know, I'm not giving you any money, but I might if you change.
Yeah, you got to let them know that, and we've been talking about this for the last few years, is money talks. And they're hemorrhaging right now financially. They're seeing a legitimate hurt in the wallet, and that's why all this change is coming through. Now, if you start giving the money now, great, but let's hold them to that fire. Okay, we got these people elected, but now let's hold them to the fire for a little bit. Let's wait and see if they actually deliver on what they're saying and what's going to happen in the next year or two. And all of that. I think the NRA is still much needed in this world. I just think it needs to be reorganized, changed, and move forward. And we've talked about this. You and I have, Rob, and Clover and I have talked about this. We all have talked about this. This could be, it's the biggest thing probably since Red October in 77 or whatever it was. Of the change of the NRA. This could be something that the Phoenix rises from the ashes. I hope it is.
Unfortunately, it wasn't that, because if it was going to be that, yesterday would have been a lot more dramatic and it would have been a lot more.
Well, I'm just saying, but this is probably the biggest thing that's happened since then, because
we're getting in that direction.
We haven't seen LaPierre resigning was like groundbreaking for a lot of us.
It was important. It was important. It was definitely important. I think that the biggest, but we got to remember these guys, before we called them out on Saturday, Charles Cotton and these guys and Barr was up there. They were talking about this as a win. The way they actually tried to present it to people that don't pay attention every day was, hey, just so you know, we were the victims. The NRA were the victims. The New York Attorney General's office doesn't get that money. That money's coming back to the NRA because we were the victims. But what he didn't say was the hard part. Wayne LaPierre committed that victimization. And by the way, I helped him and I'm sorry. And I resign. That would have been what should have happened. Right. But that didn't happen. So we still have to watch these guys. And I'll tell you, the people we watch the most, obviously, are the people who raised their hand and said, we're for reform. And what you really need to watch, and this is what I want everybody who still cares and is still willing to invest the time. Watch these people now who are in as reformers on the board. If they start telling you, hey, we need to back off, things are changing, it's going to be great, trust me, that's not going to work. We cannot let this beginning of victory be the end. And that's mostly what I'm afraid of, is you're going to see a few people who are now going to try to pretend everything's fine and now go back in that closed room in the board meetings that happen during the year when the members aren't around, and it's more back to the same status quo. So I'm very, very alert for that. I'll you know me, I'll name names if it comes out to it. But I think that's the most important thing now, is that we hold the board members who have raised their hand and said we need change, and they've done it openly, and I applaud that and I'm proud of them. This is not a win. This is not the end. This is not the change. This is certainly not it's a revolt a little bit, but it's not a revolution, and we need to keep the pressure on.
Real quick, Kyle, John, Clover, any questions for Rob, who has put a lot of time into this, and he might be able to clear up some stuff, or any questions that you guys might have? Go for it.
I don't have anything, but thank you, Rob, for telling us what's going on behind the scenes, and it's great to stay updated on that. I was very confused by the attendance at NRAAM. Sunday was like a ghost town, almost. So,
yeah, I mean, the industry is down, right? Like we know that gun sales are way down in general from last year and year on year. I think the whole industry is expecting that will change because it's an election year, and that's just sort of the cycle that we've seen for the last 10, 15 years. But things are down. I mean, lever actions are the hottest selling thing, right? Like that's the new big thing. Double stack 1911s were the big thing last year, right? So it's an odd, even though, I'm trying to get a video.
The handgun of the year is the handgun of the year. The Golden Bullseye is a high power. I mean, these are 100-year-old designs, folks.
So it's interesting times in the industry right now. And I think it's a combination of things. I think that the show was slow because of the NRA, and it just lost so many members and so much respect and so much influence and power. I think that it was down because people aren't spending money on guns. Depending on which politicians you listen to, that can affect how much money you're going to spend on things. It could make you want to spend more money on guns. It can make you think you can't afford to spend anything on anything but food. We know prices in general, cost of living is up, so there's less recreational money to be spent. And then the third thing, of course, is what they did with the leadership forum, moving that from Friday to Saturday to accommodate a politician who hasn't been great to American gun owners, quite honestly. Despite the rhetoric,
the war against a 2A is over with him.
Yeah. It really is. That was a mistake, and I think the NRA realizes it was a mistake. The old guard is obviously the one that set that up. I'm hoping that the new leadership moving forward would never have done that.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, thank you.
And they owe and I don't say this as an exhibitor. I say this as an observer. They really do owe a lot of these exhibitors, especially the ones that spend tens of thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands of dollars, to bring 20, 30 people in these huge booths. The NRA, they can't afford to give them a refund, but they certainly owe them an apology.
Absolutely. John, Clove, you guys have anything for Rob?
I mean, as a GOA spokesperson, I can't comment on the NRA, but I will invite Rob to Goals if he would like to have a booth at Goals. I didn't get a chance to stop by, but I'd love to invite you to our convention.
Dude, where is it? Because I've heard about it. I'm excited about it. Where is it?
Knoxville, Tennessee, August.
Oh, that's too easy. You're an hour and a half. Because I'm in Colorado right now, but this is probably the first time I'm saying it publicly. I am shutting down the Colorado presence. So the only reason I've really been here in Denver is for my younger daughter, and everybody's moving east. So I'm going to be taking the Western headquarters, and it's going to be, Denver's pretty flat. So I actually have more elevation in Western North Carolina than I do.
The Western headquarters is Western Carolina. So,
yeah, the Mid-Atlantic headquarters is going to be a thing again. So I'll tell you what, I'll take you up on that, man. I would love to be there in August. And I know it's a great crowd, great time of year. It's a great part of the country. It's easy for people to get to. That's exciting.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. Trey, can you give me his email?
I'll pass on his info.
Do the cell phone. Email is like the carrier.
Don't try to email him. Don't email him. It's not. Well, first of all, you have like 17 different emails, so you never know which one to actually go
down to one phone number though.
Oh, that's even better. How many wallets do you have?
I lose wallets, man. There you go. I actually had an AirTag on the Ridge wallet, and then the AirTag thing broke off, and now I'm horrified. I actually felt kind of confident about the wallet, but now all my cards are in the phone. If you don't steal my phone, I'll be fine.
Yeah,
Rob. Rob, I recruited future Crown Eaters out of Western North Carolina.
Oh, so are you there now?
No, I'm in Kentucky now.
Okay.
I recruited out of Morganton.
Okay, so I'm just south of Asheville, and building down near the South Carolina border in Saluda, but the factory is in Fletcher, just near the airport.
I was about 30 minutes east of Asheville. So,
yep. Yeah, I'm surprised how many people I know in that community. You know, the last couple of years since we moved the company there, I've been spending a lot of time. There's a lot of really, really good people in the gun industry too. So other than like a couple minutes at Fort Bragg a long time ago, I have not lived in the Carolinas, but I've lived in every state that touches them. So I've enjoyed my time I've been spending there, and I'm looking forward to calling it home now after this summer.
I found out this week I'm a big ska fan, music ska, and apparently I love ska. But
I thought you said you found out this week that you were a ska.
Oh, no. I found out this weekend that Asheville apparently has a huge ska,
huge
festival and stuff. I was like, oh my God, I need to go there. So,
I was into that a little bit when I was living in Northern Virginia, and there was a lot going on in Baltimore. I was going back a while, but now, definitely it's happening in Asheville.
Yep.
Yeah, come visit.
I know you got to go. I want to give you a few minutes to talk about Avidity, the PD10, the 30 Super Carry, all the stuff that's happening with you guys. If you've got a few minutes, feel free to take as much time to talk about the Avidity arm stuff right now. You know, you've got a rifle out there, all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah, we do. So we came out with a rifle. It's really a collaboration with Nemo Arms, was the first one. It's called Avidity Semi-Automatic Rifle, ASAR, and people can learn everything you need to know at avidityarms.com. I promised, I've been gone for a couple weeks. I promised my daughter a steak tonight, so I'm going to
You got to go.
In the smoker right now. I'm going to go do a reverse sear, but I appreciate you guys.
That's how I do mine. Yeah.
And I do appreciate all the support from you guys. And Clover was in our booth at Avidity Arms, and he put out a bunch of great content there. I think we did a live, and I know he also did some interviews with some of our team. So that's a great place for people to learn more about that. And you've done a bunch of content as well, Trey. I think you might have done the first live fire.
I did the first live fire of the PD10 review. I got the first one. Yeah.
I do have to brag on this though, because this was kind of exciting. You know that I've been like a little bit vocal as part of my polarization that you mentioned earlier, my polarization agenda. I mean, like when I showed up, right? Like I guess nationally, like in the 90s in the magazines and then some of the early stuff I was doing, I showed up saying like, hey, standing sideways is dumb. Double tapping is stupid. And 1911s, come on, guys, right? So
we're so past. That's so 1920s, you know.
Yeah, so I feel really vindicated on the first two because you don't see a lot of people double tapping and standing sideways on any training ranges anymore. So I feel like I was very, it took a decade or so, but I was pretty vindicated on the first couple. 1911s, it's just, but.
If you're going to be wrong, that's a pretty good thing. If you're going to be wrong, that's not a bad thing to be wrong about, though, right?
But literally, the man who wrote the book on killing and on combat has been carrying a PD-10 instead of his 1911, and he publicly posted what is a very humbling and honoring public statement about how the PD-10 has been what he's been carrying, and it's he gives it a thumbs up. So when Lieutenant Colonel Grossman says he's put his 1911, at least for a couple days, maybe I don't know how long it's going to last, aside to be carrying a PD-10 after having shot it, taken it to the range. That's I can stop now. I may have just tipped the balance on the anti-1911 as a carry gun battle war.
Yeah, go see your daughter. Eat a good steak for us. We'll see you soon. Hey, Rob, thanks for coming on. I knew we had you for a few minutes, but I do appreciate you coming on. It's great seeing you this weekend, and I hope nothing but the best for you, brother.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of the show, and anything I can do for any of y'all, reach out.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. All right.
I love On Killing and On Combat. If you guys in the audience ever get a chance to grab those books, please.
On Combat.
Learn so much.
On Combat is a book that, I think everyone should read.
Yeah.
Everyone should read.
It's like the psychological side behind warfare, just to give you like a preview. So it's very
it is. I just saw the comment. Snobs. I just said he didn't see Pincus on a scooter. I should have mentioned that before we left. But no, he actually was a day late.
He didn't have his riding partner with him.
He didn't have his ride or die with him. So he was also like late. He got in the next day, the day after he should have, or later on in the day he should have. So he missed like
half the show.
3/4 of a full day of it. So he was running to stand still, if you will. All right. You guys know that every Thursday, Saturday, and Monday over in our YouTube community tab, we have the pony polls. We have some fun with them. Let's go check out this week's polls. First one, real quick. Which one's better? Dazed and Confused or Pulp Fiction? Going to some 90s classics, some 90s cult classics, if you will. Kyle, Dazed and Confused or Pulp Fiction?
I gotta just prep everybody here. I have not had a chance to look at any of these polls, so these are all gonna be surprises.
You literally pulled into Kentucky an hour or two ago.
Yeah. Only a 17-hour drive, just to rock throw away. I'm gonna go with Dazed and Confused, even though you pulled two of the greats out of your locker right there.
I did.
So it's a tough
I
call.
love both of these, and they're both classics now,
But I'm going Dazed and Confused strictly based off of Matthew McConaughey's role. Yes.
All right.
Yes. There's
he had some of the greatest lines. He you know what I love about high school girls? I get older, they stay the same age.
Yep.
Hey, Red, lose the dorks and jump in and ride with us.
Yes. Great.
And the funny thing is none of the famous McConaughey lines were scripted. They just said, hey, like kind of go with it. And because he was like, I don't think anyone would say this. He's like, well, then go for it, and they ended up using some of the lines. And all right was not scripted. That was pure McConaughey just going, all right.
Yeah, that's all. I did not know that. That's
all. I'm a big Dazed and Confused, and there was a documentary that came out, I don't know. It was like the 25th anniversary. So what, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it was. And I watched it back in the day. I watched it during COVID. And they were talking about a lot of stuff. And all that was pretty cool. Both great movies. Can't go wrong with either one of them. That's why I pick tough ones like that, because you can't really be wrong. But I like where you're going with your pick. I'll just say that. Clover, Dazed and Confused or Pulp Fiction?
Dazed and Confused.
Are you cool, man? Huh? He doesn't want to know if you smoke weed. I don't know. Be a lot cooler if you did. That's a great show. Dazed Confused. Great movie. Ginger, back in the 90s, there were several movies made. 2 of them were not critically acclaimed movies when they came out. Some would say they were blockbuster busts, if you will, but over time became these cult followings. Pulp Fiction was much better in the theaters than Dazed and Confused. But Dazed and Confused really had this cult fiction. So Dazed and Confused or Pulp Fiction, man?
I hate to admit it, but I have not seen Dazed and Confused, so I'm a Pulp Fiction guy. That's the only one I haven't seen. I've watched Pulp Fiction like 5 times.
How many strikes are we going to possibly give Ginger here? Come on. Come on.
I mean,
we're playing T-ball with him at this point. We got to stop.
Yeah, we're playing coach's pitch, like just lobbing up there and hoping that he can hit something.
But I like Samuel L. Jackson and all them in Pulp Fiction. It's such a good movie.
Well, we got some homework. We're watching it at goals. All right, John?
No. He's going to watch it before goals, and we're going to have a discussion on it. I want his book report at goals.
We need a movie report, John.
Yep. 5,000
Chase says
words.
we were a cult following Saturday night. This is facts. This is facts.
Yeah.
Well,
even Chicago Mike says 3 strikes, you're out. Oh,
Chicago Mike even said, I'm young because he's never seen either of them. He's got no opinion in this.
You're right. He doesn't, but you do, and you haven't seen Dazed and Confused. So that's your homework.
Did you seriously just throw poor Chicago Mike under the bus?
Under the Swift truck. Under the Swift truck.
You racist.
It's a good one, John. It's a good one.
I know it's I've seen clips. I just haven't watched the full thing yet.
Yeah. Well, if you don't watch it before August, you and I got a date.
All right.
I don't know if I'd go through with that, Kyle. Use your words, man.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right.
Yeah, and to be fair, Chicago Mike never said he didn't see him. He just said he was young. He never said he didn't see him.
That's true.
And he says, yeah, it's very racist. So
75%
picked Pulp Fiction. Now, I wonder if that 75% has, how many of them haven't seen Dazed and Confused, or are they merely picking it because they think it's a better movie? I have no problem with that. But once you see Pulp Fiction, like, yeah, you can watch it a lot of times, but with Dazed and Confused, I've watched that hundreds of times, and I always seem to find something every time I watch it. They're like, oh, I never noticed that before. A lot of really cool things in there. So it is what it is. Chase
Mike even said he's never seen it. See?
Mike, you're supposed to help me out here, brother.
Mike's from Chicago. He gets a pass.
Yeah. Do they even allow like hippie movies in Chicago?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either. Yeah. All right. Next one. Right up. This is kind of Clover's. We're gonna have him pick first. Which one do you like better? Cheerios or Fruit Loops?
Oh God, that's tough.
It is tough, isn't it?
Man, and that's too tough. I mean, they're both round and they both have holes.
They're both round, and it just depends. Do you like them without the coloring and flavor, or do you like them with the coloring and flavor?
You know, so, I'm typically going to go for the.
I think he's honestly struggling, guys.
I am. My brain is smoking over here. God, because I probably eat Cheerios more often because Cheerios, like in a Ziploc bag, are wonderful. And I don't really do that with Fruit Loops. But as far as like pure enjoyment, man, it's got to be Fruit Loops. Got to be Fruit Loops.
Okay, that's fair. Ginger, Fruit Loops, Cheerios.
Are we talking like regular Cheerios or Honey Nut?
Jesus,
Yes.
Did I say Honey Nut Cheerios? Did I say chocolate Cheerios? I said Cheerios.
Then it's Fruit Loops.
Okay.
Honey Nut Cheerios give it a boost.
See, I don't like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Because if we're talking Cheerios as a whole, like Honey Nut Cheerios can't go.
Well, then you'd have to talk about Fruit Loops as a whole, and he didn't say that.
Yeah, because there are multiple different kinds of Fruit Loops now.
And Fruit Loops.
No, it's just the regular original Cheerios against the original Fruit Loops.
The original Fruit Loops it is.
Okay. Kyle, my phone is blowing up. What in the hell?
Toucan Sam, baby.
I think NSA is blowing up over here. Anyways, what? Toucan Sam. That's my man. I agree with him. I do like me some Cheerios. But yeah, Fruit
Cheerios
Loops
had no mascot, right? That I can recall.
The honey. Well, no, that's
the honey wheat. That's Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's Honey
Yeah,
Nut with
I don't
the,
think they do then. No, I don't think they do. Well, there you go. If you don't have a mascot, then how can you win, right? Actually, closer than I thought. Fruit Loops, 58% were correct when they say Fruit Loops. 58-42.
Fun fact about Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
I still have the color changing spoon that I got out of a Fruit Loops box from like 15 years ago.
Nice.
It's pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet. Do you use the color changing spoon?
On occasion.
There you go. Only when you're eating Cheerios, or
When he's feeling whimsical.
I only use my Fruit Loop spoon when I'm eating Cheerios. That's correct.
That's right. I mean,
talking about, is it the color changing spoon with the straw in it?
Yes.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Chicago Mike Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is pretty special too.
Mm-hmm.
Fruit Loops does have an awesome after milk too.
That's what I say. That's so Fruit Loops and Count Chocula, and there's only a few of them.
Cocoa Pebbles will do it.
Cocoa Pebbles,
or even Fruity Pebbles will be very similar to
anything that's kind of fruity or chocolatey. Really, like, I'm a big fan of drinking that milk, and yes, that does go into the decision-making process because that is part of the cereal experience, is the after cereal milk gulp.
I just had an idea. So my wife not long ago had the idea, making smoothies or something, there's this thing called the Ninja Creamy, which is like a food processor, and primarily it's used for like smoothies and ice creams and stuff. What if you took the milk from Fruit Loops or Cocoa Pebbles or Count Chocula or whatever, right? You took that milk and you made ice cream out of that milk.
Wouldn't you just mix the Fruit Loops in?
I mean, you could certainly do that, but I think it's a
You
little
could do
different
that.
once it
You know,
dissolves.
I
It's a
agree.
little
I
different.
think that the flavored milk is better without the cereal in it because it's had time to just kind of soak in there
Kind
and
of dissolve and stuff.
dissolve. Yeah.
I may have to try that. I may have to get some cereal and try that for real.
Are you guys like crunchy cereal or soggy cereal? I let mine get real soggy first.
It's gotta be.
I
I
kind of
want
in
a
the
little
middle.
bit.
I don't like them crunchy, but I don't want them too soggy. I like them where they've absorbed some of the milk and they're not like hard, but they're not soggy. I like it's a very fine line, you know.
Like the inside has to have a little bit of crunch.
A little bit of
But
crunch,
like
the outside's a little
it's
soft.
almost slimy on the outside, but then the inside still has crunch.
Yeah,
likes
that's yours.
He likes it al dente.
Yeah, you
Whatever
guys are
that-
kind of
No, al dente is still maybe a little bit firm, maybe just a little bit. But I don't want the soggy noodles either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's one of those where okay. So let me ask you guys this because I'm a cereal just freak. Put your cereal in, put your milk in. Do you dig into the cereal or do you smash the cereal under the milk before you eat?
Oh, you gotta.
I'm a smasher. I'm a smasher. Absolutely.
Smash and
I've seen some people that just pour and like don't even put that much milk in there and they just go after it. I'm like, then why the hell are you using milk? Like,
So milk in the bowl first or cereal in the bowl first?
I put cereal first and then pour the milk over.
Yeah. Yep.
Almost to where it doesn't cover the cereal, but it's pretty close. And then I mash because I know if I put the more milk in there, then I have a bigger gulp at the end. That cereal milk. I know I'm weird, but I actually think this stuff through with cereal.
I don't understand for the life of me why anybody would put the milk in first. That makes like no sense.
Yeah, Midnight out there, and he's our expert. He's our local expert. He is a chef. And so we defer to him on food matters. He says, if you put milk in the bowl first, you should be locked up. And I agree.
You're taking a huge risk of overflow at that point.
Yes, you are. But unless you are very careful.
Yeah, I always grab the biggest bowl I can find too, by the way.
Same. I've got a specific cereal bowl.
I laugh at
the
the
big glass one.
But have you seen the daily suggested serving? Like, take a box of cereal and literally pour out the daily suggested serving or whatever, and you'll laugh. You're like, there's no way.
It's nothing.
I'm having
it's
like
small, it's smaller than one of those little boxes that you get at SHOT Show.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah. 58% said Fruit Loops.
Oh, Gizzard's got a good one too. He says you have to move the milk around as you pour it too. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yes, absolutely. Oh yeah, you can't just pour. It's I go in a circle around and I finish up in the middle. That's just how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, no doubt. Great band, by the way. We introduced your wife to No Doubt this weekend. So introduced her to a lot of things this weekend.
To answer Chicago Mike's question, I love honey oats.
I'm not a honey oat guy.
Love honey oats.
I think I've only had that once. And okay, I remember having it once, and I remember there not being enough milk once again. So only about a quarter of it, and so it was just too much. And maybe if I tried it with the right amount of milk, then it might be better. But at this point in my life, I'm not a honey oat guy. My favorite cereal of all time is Wheaties. Wheaties, and then Rice Chex are pretty good, and then Count Chocula and Fruit Loops, and then probably Honeycomb. That'd be my top 5 cereal.
Are you guys cereal bar people too?
Not so much. Depends. Yeah, I'm not a breakfast guy. I like breakfast food at night. In a cereal bar, I don't think it just rocks a night.
No, that's
Very
a quick
well.
grab in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't do a lot of morning eating. So
Now, if you want something that's awesome, and you got to like Honey Nut Cheerios, but basically it's almost like a peanut butter Rice Krispie treat, if that makes sense, but made with
that
Honey
sounds
Nut
pretty good.
Cheerios.
Yeah.
But make them with crunchy peanut butter and Honey Nut Cheerios. Oh
You
my
lost me at
God!
country peanut butter.
With
Yep.
crunchy, you don't have to do crunchy, but
Oh, okay.
you know, having the bits of peanuts because it's a bar.
Well, I guess
you
if
know
you're
what I mean?
doing a bar, yeah, that actually makes sense for a bar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
What's the verdict on adding sugar to like regular Cheerios and regular?
I
Cheerios,
have to add sugar to Cheerios and Wheaties.
I dump a lot of sugar on Cheerios.
I dump a lot of sugar on Wheaties and Cheerios.
Yeah,
But
you do.
once again, you're talking about the sugar milk at the end, still pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
I've been using in the last few years. I haven't actually used sugar. It's that I can't remember what it's called. It's one of the sugar alternatives that that we use. It's not real sugar.
The only thing I add sugar to is Rice Krispie treat or Rice Krispies.
And see, I don't add sugar to Rice Krispies, ironically,
sugar to
or Rice Chex or anything like that. I add sugar to Cheerios or Wheaties, and that's it. Everything else, I don't. Stevia, that's it. That's it. Thank you.
Now you don't add much, right?
I don't add much.
Or
What?
do you sugar? Do you add much sugar? Or would you say
you add quite a bit. I mean, I don't like dump it. I would say like for a normal size bowl, I would go probably 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of sugar.
Tablespoons? Wow. Okay. To me, that's a lot. Wow. Okay.
But it's
Yeah. All power to you. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. You're muted.
He's there.
Whoops.
I didn't know what this was. I was like, is he okay?
I'm taking the box of sugar.
Having a stroke over there.
Sprinkling it across the top.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll get. I don't know whether a tablespoon, the bigger spoon, and I'll put at least one, and then I might put a little bit more. So,
Well, Chicago Mike says nobody mentioned Frosted Flakes. I love Frosted Flakes.
I could eat them. I mean, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with Frosted Flakes. There's nothing wrong with Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I'm not going to the grocery store to buy them. If they're somewhere like it's Shot or at a hotel or something, I have no problem eating them. I'm just not going out of my way to buy that.
Yeah,
that's just me. If someone says, "Hey, man, you want some sugar, some Frosted Flakes, or you want some Cinnamon Toast Crunch?" Hell yeah, I'll take some. But it's not the ones I'm going to go buy personally. Man, we could have a cereal talk for hours.
Of course.
All right, our last one got 2,000 votes. Semi-auto pistol or revolver? Ginger?
Semi-auto all the way.
Okay. Kyle?
Semi-auto.
Clove?
And the correct answer is revolver.
2,000 votes. 89% are correct to say semi-auto pistol. I'd be really interested to see how that poll would have gone over on Clover's channel.
Probably be the same, to be honest.
You think so?
There's people
89 to 11? I don't think it'd be
people that
that.
watch I don't know why people watch my stuff, but there are tons and tons of people that watch my stuff that disagree with the whole revolver thing and levers and everything else, but shotguns, but for whatever reason, they keep coming back and watching stuff. So either they're closeted FUDs or they just come over there to harass me. I don't know. But,
well, that's fair. I mean, that's what I'm there for, is to harass you. But
right.
All right, before we move on to Kyle's big announcement, real quick, I got one question when it comes to cereal, because this is a serious question that needs to be discussed. Fruits on cereal, yay or nay? I don't understand why people put strawberries and bananas and shit on cereal. I've never understood that. But where do you guys stand on putting fruits, whether it's blueberries, bananas, strawberries, whatever, fruits on cereal? Kyle, we'll start with you.
Bananas all day. Strawberries.
Really?
Strawberries are all right, but bananas is all
bananas on any cereal or specific cereals?
Any cereal, to be honest with
you. So you would eat Fruit Loops with bananas?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not a banana guy in general, but that's weird to me. Okay. Hey, teaches their own. Yeah, Clove, fruits on cereals, yay or nay?
I'm okay with it. Very seldom do I do it because I don't have. Now I don't like frozen fruit and crap. And like very rarely do I have like fresh fruit at the same time or like fresh straw. I love strawberries, for example, but very seldom do I have fresh ones at the same time I have cereal. Right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
the planets just don't align very often, if ever. But yeah, strawberries, it does something with the milk, like you were talking about again.
Oh yeah,
where you get like a strawberry.
Strawberries or blueberries, I'm big fans of those in
like-
general, just not on cereal.
Strawberry pairs well with chocolate, and so strawberry with some chocolatey cereal. But typically, when you're talking fruit, in my case, more strawberries. I'm not a huge banana kind of guy.
Okay.
But with strawberries, it's usually more of a bland or plain cereal, so it'd be more like
a Cheerios,
Rice
Rico
Krispies
Wheaties,
or
something like that. Yeah. Okay,
Right.
that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I guess that's why Cheerios has and their picture on their box, they've got a bowl with strawberries in it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Ginger, fruits and cereal.
No, it's a side item.
You like it fruity?
No fruit in my cereal. It's a side item. Get out of here with that bullshit.
I agree. I could eat strawberries and blueberries all the time, but not in cereal. Just can't do it.
I respect that, but
I respect the fact that you're weird by putting bananas in your shit, but no, just kidding.
Hey, look, I could go on about some weird stuff. Peanut butter and pickles, very good.
I'm sorry?
Peanut butter and pickle sandwich.
I love peanut butters and I love pickles. I have never heard of combining the two.
Combine them, put them on a sandwich, toasted bread. You're welcome.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that before.
Just try
Interesting. I'd tell you what, where did we eat Friday night or Thursday night? Where was it? The Dancing Marlin.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, those fried pickles were the best fried pickles I've ever had.
That and the pasta salad.
The pasta salad was banging too. Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah, even Rich White. See, that's the thing. It's not a good sign that Rich is your backup. He says that peanut butter and dill pickles, but I don't trust Rich at all. So I'm just kidding.
He's a pro.
Mike says Ginger had too many strikes. Ghost gonna take his spot. There ain't no way in hell. I'm just gonna be honest, Mike. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Last time I think we tried to have you on, it didn't go well. I want to say that you were driving and it just clicked in and out. So maybe one day. All right. I want to put this up. I want to give Kyle, I'm going to give you some time. You guys ran a special thing at NRAAM at your booth. Do you know how many people entered that? Do you have any idea what the numbers were or no?
Yes, we have 416 entries.
Wow, 416 entries. And that's what if you entered, that's what you're going to win. This is a Spectre, but it's not obviously it is not the base stock Spectre that you find on the website. You want to talk a little bit about this build and then we can announce the winner.
Yeah, so this is the Spectre from our Suppressor Ready series. So it's already tuned to accept an AAC suppressor. If you have a different suppressor, you can just swap out flash highs there, but it's timed up, set up for the AAC. Mid-length gas system, H1 buffer. We did update the brace. We took off the A2 carbine brace and threw on a Magpul BSL and swapped out the ASC aluminum magazine with the PMAG with the window. And then obviously it comes standard with the Breek Arms charging handle. And then we Cerakoted it in NRA blue for the NRA show. That's one of my favorite color blues right there. It's a little bit lighter than the Anderson blue, but it's a really cool blue. It's kind of like a grayish blue, if you will, Yeah. What's up, 223 out there? So the winner is Zachary Cook. I don't know. Oh yeah. Drum roll.
I don't know if Zachary Cook is going to be out there listening to this. I'm assuming you'll contact him through email or whatever. But
yeah, we'll definitely contact him via email. This was kind of spur of the moment. I was like, wait, we're doing the drawing on Tuesday. Ghost shows on Tuesday.
I appreciate you doing that. That's yeah. I guess that's a sexy rifle right there.
That is,
yeah. That Break Arms charging handle, man. If you guys aren't familiar with Break Arms, I met them. I believe it was TriggerCon last year. It might have been NRAAM, but I'm pretty sure it was TriggerCon last year when I got to know them pretty well. And we're going to be doing some work this summer together. But really awesome people at Break Arms. But I've got several of their charging handles now, and I've got one of them always on the front line, but I've got them on a couple of my rifles as well. Really, really, really. What's up, G-Webs? 223556, correct? Yes, Mike. Absolutely. But no, Break Arms charging handle is great, but go check out Break Arms in general. They got some really, really cool stuff.
They do.
I like the PMAG. I like the window PMAG. For me, I get to count the crayons. You know, I need to make sure my crayons are still in that box. So
exactly.
And yes, John, you won. That was your name at NRAAM this year, so you wouldn't get caught being there. It was Zachary. What? Zachary what? What was his name? Zachary Cook. Zachary Cook. Yeah.
Man, that slip of exchange with Kyle worked out in my favor, I guess.
Hey, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and pay someone $1,000. You know, it's like you could just bought the rifle, but you know what? You won. Good job. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for doing that, bro. I appreciate you announcing that tonight. Congrats to Zachary Cook if you're watching this live, if you're out there, or you're watching this replay or in podcast form. Make sure you contact Anderson. I'm assuming they're going to be contacting you, if they already haven't, to let you know that you've won the rifle. But congratulations and thanks for doing that, Kyle. Once again, not just coming on the show and announcing it, but doing the giveaway. That's a pretty cool thing. That's spreading some freedom. I assumed that they had to, be able to accept this rifle before they entered. Like they lived in a state that could accept it. That would suck if he lives in California or something like that,
Yeah, it was in the fine print. But if he can't, then I guess I'll be on here next Tuesday doing
another announcement
giveaway to one of John's other aliases.
That's right. That's right. He had 411. There are actually only 5 entries. There were actually only 5 entries. It was 411 of them were John. So
you can't say that out loud. You're going to get me in trouble.
Not my problem, bro. All right, let's take that off.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity to do that, guys.
Thank you for everything you do for us and the channel and just being our friends. I had a great time going to dinner with you a couple different times, and Chris and talking with Jeremy. Really cool meeting Jeff, the new CEO of Anderson Manufacturing. He spent the weekend. Every time I saw him, he was having a one-on-one discussion with someone, and my discussion with him was phenomenal. I know Clover had a great conversation with him as well, answering questions that we had and listening to maybe, I'm not saying suggestions, but ideas that we would, say, hey, what if you guys did this? He listened to everything. I'll tell you this about the new CEO at Anderson. I don't know him very well. I had a 20-minute conversation. I can tell you one thing. I can tell you that he is sincere, he is energetic, and he's a leader of men, leader of people. And those 3 characteristics right there will go a long way in running a company. I really enjoyed my talk at Clover. I know that you did as well.
Yeah, what I liked, I think what stood out most to me, I mean, Anderson being, a family started, family built, that's just a legacy, right? And he had 100% full respect for that legacy and wanting to, even though he may change things up with the way the business operates, he wants it to operate at maximum efficiency and all this other stuff. He is dedicated to keeping that family vibe and everything's still going, which I think is kind of cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there is a way to pay homage to the family and the history while moving it forward and pushing some envelopes and trying some new things. And I don't know. I know he said to you several times, Clover. He said it to me, in passing. He's like, I don't want to hear that's how things have always been going. That's how he's always done things. That's fantastic. And you've got a great company here, but we don't need to be falling back on this is how it's always been done. Let's change what we're going to do and let's create a new narrative. And I love that passion.
Yeah. And I hate that phrase too.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear that, well, that's just always the way we've done it. Or, I hate that phrase, and I've run into that a lot in my life while I've been with school boards or different organizations that I sat on a board for or something, and it aggravates the snot out of me.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get his frustration with it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But it was nice talking with him. Like I said, I can't wait to see what the future. I think, and Kyle, I talk about this a lot, and I said this to Jeff as well. Everything that Anderson is right now, take the old school lowers and the AM series rifles, but now you're adding in the last year the Kiger, so you're in the handgun game. You've now got the front line. You've got some bolt action stuff possibly coming down the line. You've got all this different stuff. Like right now is a great time at Anderson because really you can take the company any direction you want because you're starting to kind of check all those boxes. And with new leadership with Jeff and with Jennifer coming in, I think that you and Jennifer are going to be able to, with Jeff's vision, I think that you and Jennifer are going to have some amazing marketing capabilities and marketing opportunities to do some stuff that Anderson's probably never done before. I think it's going to be a fun time the next couple of years. I cannot wait to see be on this show 2 years from now and there's no telling where you guys are. I'm really excited, but yeah, I really was a fan of his. Like I said, his energy, his passion, his leadership. Man, I tell you what, man, I think you guys got a good one right there.
Well, let's be honest. When Jeff blows this up, Kyle and all them, they're gonna get super snobby.
Yeah, Kyle won't talk to us in a couple of years, will he?
We're history at that point. Yeah. Like they'll be too good. Sipping their champagne and eating their caviar, every night at shows and stuff. So they ain't going to want to talk to us. They ain't going to slum it with some gun tubers,
I'll pull up in my blue limousine with my blue suede shoes on, with my champagne.
With your white leisure suit on?
Yeah.
No shirt, just chest hair flowing.
Yeah.
The question is, did anybody bring up the Pony Express to Jeff? I'm just saying. You had an opportunity.
Okay, so I did not bring up the Pony Express, I don't think. But I tell you what I did. I tell you what I did do is I brought up the Poverty Pony to him. And I said, I know that the Andersons are kind of skeptical of buying in and owning the Poverty Pony. And I was like, man, I think there's so many remarkable opportunities, especially on the marketing side, by owning that and taking that and say, we can turn it into something positive and fun than something that's a negative. And he's like, you know what? I don't disagree with you. He's like, you just got to do it the right way. But, we could really do some good things with that on the side of marketing and really, like you said, own it. And, he's like, we already kind of own a niche in our market, but we could galvanize that and really just go to town on. I'm like, I'm not saying you have to dive into it, but I sure as hell wouldn't run from it, and I don't think he's going to run from it.
Oh yeah.
I love what he told me also. He said that part of the decision process of taking this job was in no way, shape or form an insult to the Anderson family. Kind of what Clover's saying. He took the Anderson family and the legacies and all of that, but he also wanted to make sure that if he took this job, that the Andersons had to know that I don't need micromanagement. It's got to be, I have to have the last say. This has to be me. I'm trying to set you and your family up for generational wealth where your grandkids won't ever have to worry about money. If I do my job right, your family's taken care of, but you got to trust me and let me do my job. And I love the fact that he was willing to talk to Anders and say, look, if I feel like you're trying to micromanage me, I'm out of here. And that's exactly what someone needs to be able to do with the family business. Say, look, I'm not going to disrespect it, but I need for you to trust me, and I trust that I'm going to do the right thing. And I like that. I like that a lot. I didn't hear anything that I disliked about it in the conversation. So I'm really looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that you're excited for Jennifer to get in-house, and I know you're talking every day and all that, but getting her in-house and y'all will be in the same office and be able to creatively talk about a lot of things. I think I can't wait for that as well. But looking forward to it. Let's talk NRAAM for a little bit. Obviously, Kyle's coming from a different perspective. Ginger's coming from a different perspective than Clover and I are, which is kind of fun. I want to talk with Kyle, and I know we talked numbers already and all that, but talking from, let's say, Thursday at Range Day, which was a story in itself, let's be honest, until, Sunday afternoon. This is your third, I think you said, NRAAM.
Yeah.
Where does this rank in comparison to Indy or Houston so far?
Well, I have to say, Primary Arms Range Day, it's probably going to go down in history as one of my greatest moments of all time. Like,
you embrace the suck. Let's put it that way.
It started off, and you can ask Clover, I was a sad panda, to quote. I was a very sad panda. But then everybody left. Well, a lot of people left.
Yeah.
And then about an hour later, the range went hot, and this flood of people came in. And, dude, It brought me this energy that I was just like, dude, if they're embracing it, I'm embracing it. And
let's go.
Dude, just started putting rounds. I wasn't even charging people tickets. I was loading up full mags and just letting them go ham.
Letting them go. If they're gonna be there, Snobs, I want to thank Kyle for a ride to the car on Range Day. There you go. He must have been talking about BFE, huh?
As wet as all the ammo got, it probably needed to be shot anyway because it's probably going to be ruined if it just sat around.
This is true. Yeah. Did you have a catfish swim through your booth? I think John might have won.
They had a river. They definitely had a river for sure.
Yeah, we had a waterfall and a river.
A waterfall and a river, yeah.
Now let's push over. Let's hear from John on this one.
Let's hear from John. John had a surprise visit from the catfish himself.
Yeah, so it was fantastic. Then it started to rain and it died down, and they told us that people were not coming in, and then they told us people were coming in. And while
they were revolting, they were
revolting and saying they were coming in. As the day went on, the river decided to rise and run through my booth. And while I was
through it.
And while I was standing there, a catfish swam through my booth, a baby catfish, and then the crawfish came through my booth. And then at one point,
catfish and crawfish, you could have had yourself a nice little dinner right there, man.
I could have had dinner. At one point, Ken Ross came over and was like, "Hey, man, it's your booth is real wet. Do you want to move?" And I'm like, "Ken,
at this point,
sitting here all day. It's 2:00. I'm gonna embrace the suck." And enjoyed myself at the event. Got to talk to a lot of people. Yes, it was wet. Got to see Kyle go full Vietnam.
He did, man. He was going full on Predator, bro. He had the mud face camo and everything. Clover says the only thing was missing is you doing the Arnold pose from Predator. If you would have just done the pose with the mud face, it would have been perfect.
So I didn't see.
You had the prime opportunity too on those berms.
I didn't see Kyle all day. I went to Kyle's booth at like 3:00 when it finally, because I was busy all day with people walking through.
No, you weren't.
I was ish.
Ish.
At 3:00, I finally said, "Hey, it died down. I'm gonna go see Kyle." Walked over to go see Kyle, and he was embracing himself. I looked at him. I'm like, "Bro," and he looked at my glasses, and he goes, "This is the first time I've seen my face. It looks kind of dumb." Couldn't see his targets downrange. It was fantastic. It was a great.
You got to embrace the suck, man, and once you fully embrace it, it does not matter. Nothing else matters. AB's out there. What's up, AB? Better check out Alaskan Ballistics. He usually does a Tuesday night late chat. When this is usually over, go check out AB. Appreciate it. Snob says that he was busy fishing in his booth. That could be too. Clover is one of the people that did leave during the initial shutdown.
I did. I really didn't figure they would fire it back up, mainly because of the lightning more than anything.
Yeah,
lightning was brutal.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gary says that John's the first guy ever to get catfish at range day. That's a solid fact right there.
Nice.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I was getting ready to ask.
My wife out there says we got to see Rod and Shelley. That was epic.
Oh, that was great. I didn't go to range day. I was driving into Dallas Thursday, but I was great. It was great to see Rod and Shelley on Friday. They lied to me, but it made me feel good. They said that they only stuck around Friday to see me because they saw everybody else on Thursday. So that made me feel special. Obviously, that was a lie, but made me feel kind of special. So that was nice to see them as well. A lot of good stuff. Kyle, I'm going to bring you in first from the exhibitor standpoint. We talked about that. I know we said that range day was cool. How was the actual show for you guys? It's a little bit different, obviously, than most shows because it's not SHOT Show where it's just industry and media. This is, like you said, the end user there. The general public can come in and pull some triggers and all of that and get to hold all the guns. How was the response to the front line and the Kiger in the booth this year?
Great response. Although attendance was down, there really wasn't any dead times except for Sunday. We did have
Sunday morning is always slow, no matter where you are, no matter what year. Sunday morning. That's why a lot of people actually do a lot of their filming Sunday morning, is it's usually dead.
Yeah. But the front line was very well received. I think the thing that popped a lot of attention was the A2 series there. With the, so we definitely need to get a handle on that, get that in the production, maybe quicker than what we expect because people need the A2 series.
I know that was one of the things that, we were talking Thursday night at the house at Cobra Kai. Clover and I were that he was looking forward to seeing the A2 pistol and all of that. And, obviously the Dissy's there, but, we talked earlier, the 1911s, the high powers, all of these, classic firearms are still winning awards and they're not going anywhere. Obviously the A2 will always hold a very special place in my heart because that's how I learned to shoot was an A2 in boot camp. And so the A2 style rifle will always, the Dissy's right there. And that's, to me, is one of the coolest rifles ever and all that. But the A2 style, whether it was I don't know, it's a carry handle, it's the front post, it's the clamshell. I don't know if there's like one specific thing that sets it apart in my eyes, or if it's just the whole package of the front post, the clamshell, handguard, and the carry handle and all that stuff. I love the A2, and I know that a lot of people. I'm glad to hear that it was well received because I'm glad it wasn't just me that likes the A2 stuff that you guys are putting out.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the Kiger 9C Pro,
absolutely,
always garners a lot of attention. But the 9CL, I think, garnered more attention than the Pro. So, that's another one we got to get into production, and hopefully around August timeframe, we'll be launching at this show. I forget who's throwing it, but yeah. Some show. Hopefully, we'll be able to launch both.
The Ginger Asses or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, that of America or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
No,
Golly.
yeah, we're hoping
Ginger Offspring of America or something. I can't remember what it is. Kaylee's gonna kill me by saying that. I
think she will.
Yeah. Real quick, we're missing Chris tonight. He's at a family function. But he said, anyone get their hands on the Fusion firearms? I did not. Clover, about you?
Nope.
I didn't even know it's a thing, so I'm not gonna lie.
I walked by their booth like 7 times and didn't stop by.
Yeah. Snob says the breacher got his attention, and with a good break, it'll get everyone's attention for 3 counties. I think so too. Ginger. Obviously, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, I was gonna say the Breacher is one of my favorite firearms.
Yeah, that's
12 and a half
pretty
inch
badass.
308. Like, let's go.
And that's one of those that we talked about this. The 308, man. I know people say, "Well, you don't want a 308 in a close quarter situation." It's actually pretty badass. It's actually now you don't want the 16 or 20-inch rifle. The Breacher is a perfect one. A 308 in close quarters is not bad at all. It's not what you think it is. It's pretty cool. Not my first choice, but it's definitely not the last choice either. Ginger, bring you in. Obviously, we talked a little bit earlier on about the success. I heard a lot of companies that I was friends with that either hadn't heard that I kind of hooked you up with or gave your information to. But I know that there was some pretty strong buzz about goals going around the industry side. We've talked about it already. You've got a bunch of new contacts this weekend and a bunch of new requests and all that from the media side. I know that kind of opened up not too long ago, and people are starting to get their approvals and all of that real quick. God damn. G23, $50 over chat. Let's remember the men and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice for this country and their family, who have a whole that can be filled. Memorial Day isn't about barbecues and beers. We're going to talk about that here a little bit, but thank you. Appreciate you very much. But as far as the media side of things, how is that shaping up? Are you getting a lot of response from influencers or whatever you want to call them?
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of response, but I think the big thing right now has been the company's response from the show. That actually has gotten it. The media will come. The companies, man, it was, and I have to give some shout outs not only to you and Clover and Snob and everybody, but also Rapid Fire Rachel was walking me around. Tracy Guns was walking around with me, pulling me. I was getting text messages and things every other minute. I'd be in one meeting and get pulled across the show floor.
Yeah, I felt bad calling you a couple times to see, hey, can you come over here? But I mean, like, I know that you were busy, but I also wanted to make sure that you were connected with people because they were excited. I didn't want them to lose that fire, you know.
And it was exciting because by the time I got talking to like the fourth or fifth company that I got pulled to either by you guys or Tracy or Rachel or Tom Miner, it was, hey, I've heard about this from 10 people, or hey, this is it became the buzz for the industry side, which is great because I walked away with like 70 new contacts and we had 20 vendor requests by the time I got back home and just in today. So
yeah,
it was a good show for me. I had a good time on that, and media will come. So if you haven't already put in your media requests, go ahead and do so. That will be on the goals website.
One of the things that I was telling people, and I had several companies that said, "Hey, I know that you're going. I saw your post that you're going to that GOA thing. What's the story on that?" And we were talking, and he was like, and a lot of them were like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, Friday's going to be industry and media. There's going to be a get together that night. He's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Like, everyone's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." I said, "Yeah, they're trying to do it right." And I said, Saturday and Sunday is going to be general public. Media will still be there, but Friday they're kind of trying to do things a little bit differently and having a dinner at night and a mixer, if you will. And there's going to be concerts. There's going to be comedy shows. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. And everyone was like, "Oh, wow, that's kind of cool. It's different." I said, and they're like, "Oh, it's kind of like, sounds like they're trying to take the best parts of all the shows and combine." I said, I think that's kind of the idea. But yeah, there was a lot of companies, and there's a company that I called you over to, our buddies Nathan over at Mitchell Defense and all that, and Ron with Riker, because I was sitting there with them, hanging out in their booth with them for a little while, and Nathan was like, "So, like, what's going on the rest of the year? Like, what's big coming up?" And I was like, "Well, you got GunCon coming up. In Iowa, you've got TriggerCon happening in September in Kansas, And I said, then you've got the GOA's goals. And he's like, what's that? And I was like, it's the first show that GOA's putting on. Where is it? And I was like, Knoxville. And they're in Carolina. He was like, oh, hell yeah. And that's like, he's like, you got to hook us up. And I was like, well, I just saw him. Let me call him and see if he's available. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of buzz. I'm glad you guys walked away with a lot of hopefuls and at least meetings and all of that. I think you guys are doing the right thing. I know that there might be some people that are nervous or whatever. And I'll say for the first year, I will say that if there has been companies saying, I don't know, it has nothing to do with the GOA or anything. I might wait till next year to see how the first one goes. That's the only thing that I've heard, you know.
Yeah, that's been the response that I've gotten, and it's hard because it's at the same time I'm like, it's cheap. Kyle knows how cheap it is. It's an inexpensive show for the vendors, and that's why like Ken Ross stopped me on Thursday and was like, yeah, we're getting a booth. I'm like, well, you guys said you're going to walk the show. He goes, no, you guys are so cheap. Like, it doesn't make sense not to get a booth. So
exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's just for us right now, it's the worry of filling the convention center and getting people to come out. And we've sold a very good amount of tickets. 2 hotels are already completely booked. We just asked the city of Knoxville. They just gave us 6 more hotels to book with. So
I know you sold out the first 2 blocks, didn't you?
First 2, not only the blocks, but the hotels themselves are
the whole hotels are sold out. Damn.
Yeah. So it's insane to think like how well it went over the weekend for us and just talking to people, and it became this like sort of buzz where people were kind of upset with the numbers, and then they heard the buzz and wanted to talk. And I was literally pulled in 100 directions and still haven't found my bearings yet.
I get it.
Can I say something on that too?
No.
All right.
Speak.
Now, and John's the one that pointed this out to me, and I just wanted to emphasize on it. The beauty behind it being in Knoxville is the availability of like Airbnbs in some beautiful mountainous areas. Like, John, when you were down there just scouting it out, you got to see some wildlife and different things like that. It's going to be August. It's going to be right before school gets in. Like, you could bring the family out there. They don't have to necessarily go to the show if they're not into it, but they can go to see Dollywood and all of the Smokies and all that cool stuff that's in the area. So, yeah. I mean, you definitely get the best of both worlds there, man. So.
Yeah, Knoxville is a cool town. Just not on game days in the fall.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either, but
Knoxville as a town is a really pretty town. That whole Northeast Tennessee, that in the Smokies and all that, is really a cool little area for sure.
It's a very scenic area. We drove through there coming up here. Yeah,
you get the river coming through with the mountains. I mean, it's a really pretty area for sure. Now, AB out there says y'all need to host a show in Anchorage.
Listen,
I'm down.
If I could pull the companies to come up to Anchorage and we could get it figured out, yeah.
Exactly, snob. Yeah.
I'm always down to go see Alaska.
I would love to go see Alaska. I don't know if hosting a show in Alaska would be the smartest business plan in the world.
So we were looking over people who are attending the show. We actually have a handful of people from Alaska coming to the show. And that's
probably AB and his crew. You know?
I would hope so. But yeah, we looked at a couple different places, and Knoxville just landed in perfectly. You know, it's a family-friendly environment. Spend the whole week there. Go to the show on the weekend, or make it a full week afterwards. Enjoy the area, like Kyle said. I mean, we went when we were scouting out and doing our podcast. You know, the Smoky Mountain area is just beautiful and gorgeous and well worth it. You look like you're confused there.
Big thunder right there. I was like, is that thunder? It wasn't supposed to come in until later on tonight, but it decided to come early, apparently. I was like, what the hell? It's kind of shaking and everything. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Bring Clover in. Clover, the celebrity of NRAAM.
Got my star on the
got your Hollywood
trade
star
show Walk of Fame, apparently.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and you sure did. From your point of view, how was NRAAM 2024?
It was similar in shot in that there was so much as far as obligations and commitments done, kind of leading up to that, stuff that needed to be done, that it was honestly probably a good thing that attendance was low and some of the companies backed out and that sort of stuff. So it being not a great show probably for the vendors or the exhibitors and necessarily the general public. For me personally, ended up being pretty decent because, with all the time taken up with the things I needed to do, I was still, for the commitments I had, I was still able to get done more than enough done, I guess, that I had planned out to do. So now that being said, I mean, there's a lot of disappointment in things that I wasn't able to get accomplished.
Sure.
I don't know who the blonde-haired squawking chick in the mechanic booth was with the fiddle and the guitar, but every freaking time I went over to have a...
You notice I saw Adam walking around more this show than I ever have, and there's a reason why. He was trying to stay the hell out of that booth.
I'm telling you, dude. And so Diamondback was on the back side of the mechanic booth caddy corner, and every single freaking time I tried to go over there and have a conversation with Cody and them, fiddle playing and freaking squawking on the stage. And now one of the cool things is they did have one of those robot dogs in the middle of their booth that they were making dance while she was squawking. That part was cool, but I don't know who that chick was, but good Lord, she needs to find
like I said, I saw Adam walking around more this show than I have in years, and I think that's probably why.
I got to meet the Diamondback crew at this show. We hung out with them Saturday night before I linked up with you guys. And they are awesome. They're pretty cool people.
Yeah, they're really tight-knit family.
Really cool people in this industry.
They're really tight-knit, family-run business. So got a lot of common with you.
Yeah,
in a way.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
Very incredibly productive weekend for me, which is weird because I wasn't really anticipating it to be that productive. I thought it'd be good. I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. Really a quick shout out to SAR. I got pulled into and asked to come into a meeting they want to introduce me to like the new team they put together at SAR. And ironically, I knew all of the upper management that they had just brought in from previous places and all of that. And it was really kind of cool. It's like, hey, hey, I hadn't seen you in a couple of years, whatever. And the whole team that they're putting together at SAR, they're putting together a really good squad. And I'm really excited about that. I've always enjoyed SAR's firearms, but now they've got themselves a team put together that I think that there's going to be some really cool things coming from SAR in the next few years. So I was looking forward to that. Just seeing, how do I put this? Really excited about seeing the Heritage. Yes, I'm saying the Heritage 92 Ranch Hand. It's a mare's leg style, a short barreled lever action that I think is really, really cool. And that's more my speed for the lever actions. But
did you actually catch Caleb?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
As I was leaving, saying bye to Adam and Matt and those guys at SDS, I was walking past, saw him, and I was like, "Look, I've got a bolt. I really would like to talk to you about a project." And he was like, "Yes, shoot me an email."
Right.
And unfortunately, I didn't get his card because I was walking, but I knew I had his card from shop, but I couldn't find it. And I finally found it. So I actually even text Ginger, say, "Hey, what's Caleb's email?" But I found his card and all of that. But yeah, it was one of those things where I never thought that I would get excited to think about projects with short-barreled lever action, but I think there's a lot of cool possibilities out there for me, my channel. More importantly, I think they're badass. But no, there was a really cool stuff out there. EAA had a huge weekend with their announcement winning the Golden Bullseye for handgun. They actually, received the award. And for me, I don't know, Clover, if you have, but I had never met and at a show, the Turks, the owner of the Gerson factory and all that. That was my first time to be around them. I tried to learn a couple words. I knew like merhaba and goody, but I wanted to say like nice to meet you. So I was practicing how to say that, and I said it to the president of the factory. And I don't know if I said it wrong, he didn't understand me, or I said something so offensive. But his reaction to my efforts were disappointing, to say the least. I was told that I did not disrespect him, that's just the way he is, but his reaction or lack thereof was a little nerve-wracking for me.
Well, probably because you're not that big in Turkey. Let's be honest.
I'm not that big in Turkey. I'm not. Actually, I'm pretty big in Turkey, just not with Gerson. I'm actually pretty big with SAR in Turkey. But
speaking of Turkey, Pecan Lodge.
Oh yeah, Pecan Lodge turkey, the shit. By the way, if you like smoked barbecue turkey,
pretty good. Yeah,
pretty good. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Obviously had a great time. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, hanging with all the homies and homettes, with Stacy and Arminthi were included in a lot of that, but hanging out, going to different places for dinner and all that. It was really, it was, I'm not going to lie. The two NRAAMs, and we talked about this, I think, multiple times over the weekend with everybody, but the two NRAAMs that are my favorite, ironically, have been Indianapolis. I'll tell you that I don't think it's Indianapolis, but it may be Indianapolis. I just think that the logistics around the Indy NRAAM have been good. All that stuff has been fun. John stayed with us last year. Kyle came over to the party we had, or not a party, but the get together we had. Indianapolis has been fun, but I probably had a lot of fun, and it might be because it's my hometown and it was nice to be back, but this was an enjoyable weekend. We did a lot of fun and hanging out.
Oh, the nightlife.
The nightlife was awesome, much better than the show itself.
Oh, yeah.
The show was just maybe a little disappointing to some.
Yeah.
The nightlife, we had fun, man. It was great to just have fun. Deep Ellum is a cool place. It's a weird place, but it's a cool place, and it's within walking distance or a very short Uber if you want to do that, from where everyone was staying. And it was just a good time. We got to hang out. Like all of us, at least one night, got to all hang out together, and it was really, really cool.
I will say too, with the attendance being down, the networking at this NRAAM was
great. Yeah,
similar to SHOT Show.
I had an hour meeting with the SAR team, an hour-long meeting in their office. That doesn't happen if it's crazy busy,
So, definitely was still awesome. I had a great time, and
good show. I would say it was a much better show than actually I thought it was going to be. When I started hearing the numbers are going to be down, I was like, "Oh, this could be bad," Yeah. But I actually think it was one of my favorite NRAAMs for a lot of different reasons.
Now, did you check out the coolest thing of the show?
Probably not, because what you think is cool and I think is cool are probably two completely different things.
The Chase's match gun, because I think
I think it's pretty sick.
That was pretty sick, but. Did you go over to Liberty Manufacturing and check out the pen gun?
No, you showed me the video on it. That's pretty dope. I'm not going to lie.
So they're going to be at Range Day.
Awesome.
They're going to be at the GOA Range Day so people can shoot them.
Snob's not wrong. Snob is not wrong. And the fact that we had to almost molest this person just to get the pasty on is disappointing in itself.
Yeah, screw you guys.
There
is a video. I promise you I wouldn't make it public, but there is a video. It's not public but I send it to everyone that we know.
Well, you didn't have to make it public. Snob was walking around showing the faxing guys. I walked over to have a meeting with them, and they were like, "Oh, I saw this video of you. Thanks. I'm trying to get professional stuff done, Snob."
Well, you're either one of two things is going to happen. One of three things is going to happen, John. I'm going to throw down the gauntlet now. Number one, you're going to pull the stick out of your ass and you're going to lighten up like the rest of us. Number two, we're going to get you to dinner and we're going to start spiking your drinks with something so you will lighten up. Or number three, we're just going to have to all stop being friends with you.
Or all the above. You know,
I was pretty lighthearted. I just didn't want anything on my freaking nipples.
John's all about the business, but I want to address.
He liked the business.
Yeah, he liked the business.
Snob's got a point. Those 3D patches went hard.
Oh, the raccoon, yeah, those are pretty sweet.
And the possum. Yeah,
yeah.
that
was pretty cool.
Wait, there were.
I know that. What's that? You didn't see those?
No, I didn't see them.
You didn't see what Snob was? It was like a little raccoon they had on their badge. Like,
oh yeah, I did see those.
I don't know who they were from, but they were pretty cool.
Yeah. G-Webs, you need to get on to those, man. Those are cool.
Yeah, G would appreciate that for sure.
Favorite thing you've seen?
I was gonna go through the room. Favorite things. I know that even Kyle, you got a chance to go around and look at some stuff. Let's start with you on this one.
Okay.
The stuff that you got to see and all that, or maybe you saw pictures of on Instagram or whatever. Coolest thing you saw at NRAAM this year?
Absolute coolest thing. And this
obviously aside from any Anderson, and I mean, let's take.
I was going to say this is coming from Kyle, not Anderson.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I got to meet a fellow Kyle out there at Range Day and shoot with him. Kyle Rittenhouse, the Kenosha kid.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you met Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
Did he come and shoot at the booth?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And no, the answer to that question, Armentia, is no, you cannot answer that question.
But besides that,
not publicly anyway.
Not publicly.
At NRAAM.
Please don't show us pictures.
Yeah. The coolest thing I've seen at NRAAM has to be EAA's 2311 match. That thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out.
Yeah,
and I'm obsessed with his LED spinner thing.
Oh, the fans? You haven't seen the fans before?
I have, but I got to watch him set it up, and now I'm a Marine, so I'm just like, how'd that work?
Ooh, colors?
So I'm going to tell you something about those fans, because we stayed and helped EA tear down, and we've done that multiple times. But those fans to take down, to break them down, I should say, once you get them off the stands and down, it takes 45 freaking minutes to take them apart to get them in the box. It's a pain in the butt.
They look complex.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Just a lot of little parts that screw together is all.
Yeah.
Very tedious.
Clove?
Yeah.
Coolest thing you saw at SHOT?
So I'm going to go with cool as an original because, I agree the 2311 match was pretty banging. The A2 pistol for sure over at Anderson. Rob's rifle, you talked about that earlier, the ASAR.
Yep.
All that stuff that we've kind of seen before and whatever, but I was blindsided with something that is unique from a guy that is a majoring engineer and from a company that we both worked with before. That was an original thing that I had never seen before, and that was called the Stowaway from a company called Dark Mountain, which is our friend Andrew Voigt, who used to be with Trailblazer Firearms.
There you go.
And he sold that company out. But it's basically...
And I wasn't aware of that until this weekend,
Right? Yeah. And it's
told me that.
Nothing super fancy. I mean, it's a single shot.
Kind of a grease gun looking thing, if you will. If you looked at see it from far away,
Yeah, single shot, complete takedown, make it super compact takedown, little rifle. That quick swap on a bolt face and a barrel, and you can go all kinds of calibers. It was freaking cool, and coming from him, I mean, you could hold it and tell that it was super high quality. And he was talking price points, and I was kind of amazed at the what the price point potentially could be on that, because it's pretty
Yeah.
low for the kind of quality that's coming out of a small manufacturer like that, and a manufacturer that pays such good attention to detail as well.
Yeah.
So I think that was I think that was probably the coolest thing I've seen. It's the first one that popped into my head anyway.
Ginger, coolest thing you saw at NRAAM this year?
Well, I have to say the 2311 match was pretty dope. The Heritage Revolver, I did go stop by and check out their new Roscoe. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that got me excited was the pen gun. I don't know why.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You can write with it. You can shoot with it. He had a little belt that had.
He did. Had little cartridges pop up. Yeah, it was kind of a cool thing.
So I think that was the coolest thing I saw. I walked around and saw a bunch of people and things, and that was the only thing that stood out. I think I told everybody to go check it out because the guy's got a cool story too. He's from Austria. He came over, got his American citizenship. He's very pro America. You know, it's his ride or die. He loves this country. So it was really cool to go over and talk to him.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. For me, ironically, it's not being funny. For me, and it's come to a surprise, I think. I've already talked about the Heritage 92 Ranch Hand, the short barreled lever action. But one of the models was a stainless model, and it had a little rail on top and kind of a tactical looking thing. That was my cool thing is the mare's leg style, the short barrel is cool, but this one was stainless and black and it had a rail on it. I was like, oh, that was just cool to me. So that was pretty awesome. What was that other one that we were talking about? So I was privy to, in the SAR booth, a SOCOM compact that just came out, but it was Juan's personal one that he personally did a bunch of upgrades and not aftermarket, but upgrades and different paint jobs on them and all of that. The really cool thing is I think that actual design with everything that's involved might actually come to fruition as an actual firearm. So I kind of got to see a gun that's probably 6 months to a year out, truly in its infancy stages. But it was kind of cool to know that one of the employees there kind of did some cool stuff to a gun, and the leadership was like, we need to make that exact gun open to the markets. That's kind of cool. What now?
Or just mention it. No, Manticore Carey was asking what the one I was talking about. It's the Stowaway from Dark Mountain.
Oh, the Stowaway. Yeah, sure. And it's it's a good picture. Thanks for that. That's a really good picture, actually. Snobs in the chat. So yeah, it was like I said, I had heard rumors that companies were leaving out, and there were some. I heard that the numbers might not be good, but I don't mind that because for me, it's not my company that I have to make money on. The attendance, lower attendance for me means more opportunities to have amazing conversations myself. So once again, I don't know if I put this above either one of the indies, but it's close, especially after the nightlife, hanging out with everybody and all that was really a great time. We got to stay at the Cobra Kai apartment complex. It was pretty amazing in itself. Got to go home, got to relive some memories of Deep Ellum. It's much, much, much different now than it was 30 years ago, but really cool to go home and all that. Had to eat some good food. Just really good fellowship and friendship, and it was really great to see everybody.
Entertainment was nice too.
Entertainment was great. Really nice.
Right,
really
Kyle?
Nice.
Kyle enjoyed it. Only one thumb up, Kyle. Really, only one. There you go.
All except the guitar player Pecan that played 4 chords and played his guitar so hard that he broke a string, which is amazing how he did that.
I mean, like, okay, so Wichita and the screeching chick in the band in Wichita, that was absolutely horrid and blah blah blah.
This guy was better than them. I will tell you that.
I felt sad for this guy. Like, it wasn't like, screw them, they're horrible. I wasn't that way. It was like I literally felt sad for this dude.
And he was playing some good songs. It was just all in the same key and all the same tempo.
Pretty good.
He had a good voice, yeah.
All the same key, all the same tempo, and all the same chords.
Yeah.
Like,
he needed a band.
He needed a band.
He needed it. Yeah. Exactly.
I have a question for the group. Pecan Lodge or Terry Black's?
Terry Black's, 100%.
Terry Black's, 100%.
It's not even close, but it's a different restaurant, man. Yeah, I haven't been to the one in Dallas. I've been to the one in Austin and all that, but I can tell you it's different. It's a completely different restaurant.
I like Pecan Lodge better than Terry Black's.
The turkey was great.
Have all week. You're smoking crack, so whatever. God, dude, you're just striking out.
No, dude. I like the ribs at Pecan Lodge better than the ones at Terry Black's.
Okay, let's base the whole thing on some ribs.
Yeah, okay. I didn't get to try Terry Black.
I didn't try the ribs.
But
the brisket was okay. The burnt ends that Kyle had were damn good.
Yeah, they were
common. Turkey was good. The pulled pork was average. The brisket was average. The pickles and onion thing was pretty cool.
Brisket was all right.
So I had 4 different meats. And 2 sides, and 2 sides. Yeah, it is. And 2 sides at the pecan crap place, right? I had 3 meats and 2 sides at Terry Black's. I ate as much as I possibly could, brought the rest home from Terry Black's, put it in the fridge, and ate it the next day. And I ate very little except for the turkey.
Turkey was
Pecan Lodge. I'll give the turkey props there. But the rest of the stuff is crap. It's garbage.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't go back to Pecan Lodge at all. But if
I'll make damn sure I choose wisely what I get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had the ribs and the brisket at Terry Black's, which was fantastic. And then I had the fried ribs and the wings and some brisket at Pecan Lodge. And I just like the Pecan Lodge sauce better. Maybe that's what it was.
See, I'm not a sauce guy. I don't use sauce. So I don't ever base any barbecue place on sauce. I'm not a big sauce guy. That's just me. I don't even think I used sauce on the pulled pork. I mean, I just ate the pulled pork. Like, I don't know. The sausage was really good at Pecan as well.
And the mac and cheese, I enjoyed that.
Mac and cheese was the mac and cheese itself wasn't that good, but having that green chili in there was good. Like it was cheap mac and cheese, but adding the green chili, the flavor was really good. Yeah,
great flavor.
Yeah, it was good. And I'll tell you what, the surprise of the weekend was the Dancing Marlin. The food there was actually pretty damn good. Like we all thought it was going to be like this seafood place, but I think someone got lasagna. Like, I mean,
Snob said it was not that good.
Dancing Marlin. I thought it was called the Slutty Swordfish.
We also, our waitress there had multiple personalities that she showed at least 4 of them during our visit. She was originally from Wisconsin, and then she turned to the Valley Girl.
Yeah.
And then there was like
at the end of the night, she became British.
And then she was British, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
And I remember when she ordered, and we had like 12 or 13 people there, and when she took our order for the table and started going to put it in there, I mean, I told the whole thing, I said, $20 says that there is no way in hell that she's going to get this order right, because she was stoned out of her mind. She got it right. Like the whole table. I was impressed. Like she did forget your shrimp. And you said when she comes back, I've got to tell her about the shrimp. when she came back, she had the shrimp, so you didn't even get a chance to tell her. So it was surprising how good she was. And then apparently, as we were leaving, she went like ballistic on something. I'm not really sure what happened.
Yeah, we missed that. So
mandatory carries a little affinity. Says I'm the only one that's allowed to have multiple personalities around Ghost. We weren't aware of her multiple personalities until it was too late. The Valley girl threw me for a loop, and then the British one. I was like, okay, hello, Gunda. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, interesting. But had a good time. It was good to see Kat come out.
They got Jack in the Box for the first time.
Oh, that's right. TJ got to have Jack in the Box for the very first time in his life. And I told him, say, look, it's not bad. It's not good. It's really good, drunk, stoned after party, late at night after, club food. And we had it in the afternoon heading back from the show back to the house or the apartment. And he said it wasn't bad. I mean, he got like the sourdough burger, which we all got. Like that's kind of what you have to get at Jack in the Box, the sourdough burger. But then he got like the loaded mini tacos, and he got jalapeno poppers. And he was looking at the menu, and it's just like anyone else that goes to Jack in the Box for the very first time. My God, I can get a burger. I can get Chinese food. I can get Mexican food, all on the same menu. And it was really, really cool. So, yeah, he got to do that. A lot of first times happened this weekend.
I had
a lot of different scenarios.
I had Whataburger for the first time.
That's right. I saw the picture. And
it was good. They did forget my fries, but they gave me a t-shirt.
Well, that don't have anything to do with the food. That's the service.
Yeah, that is the service. It was good.
What did you get at Whataburger?
It was actually a new item. It was the steakhouse, double steakhouse with cheese.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
Okay. Did you get a chocolate shake?
I did not.
Their chocolate shakes are pretty banging.
Yeah,
I know. I want to get one from Bard's too, or whatever you guys were talking about. Like
Brahms.
Yeah. Snob says, what night are we all meeting to play dominoes in Knoxville? If you know, you know, and we will not be bringing dominoes up again. Will we, Ginger?
No.
He's like, no.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Kyle, I'm going to bring you in, let you talk a little bit about Anderson. I know you guys had a big weekend, got some amazing products coming down the line. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to talk about Anderson and all that. Go check out AndersonManufacturing.com. And if you want to save a little bit of money, I don't make any money off this, but it does save you. Use the promo code GHOST. Save you a little bit of money. But go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah. Kind of caveat off what you said. Just appreciated to be there, and that the attendance was down. Gave me a little bit more time to spread the Anderson story and what we're all about there. Go to the website, check out the Frontline series, check out the Kiger 9C Pro, check out the entire
9CL.
website. Yeah. Well, that's not out yet, but
it's not on the website yet. Okay.
Nope. Okay. But other than that, if you want to catch some of the pictures from Range Day and see what that looked like, check us out on Instagram, Facebook at Anderson Manufacturing, or X at Anderson Rifles. Guys, it was an absolute blast this weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for bringing me on, Ghost, to your show tonight.
Always.
It's always a pleasure, man.
Great having you on. Oh my God. Ginger, let you talk a little bit about GOA again, goals, and then if you want to talk little bit about fully loaded reviews, go for it.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear at the beginning of the show, we just got a temporary restraining order for Texans, GOA members, VCDL members, and Tennessee Firearms Coalition members as well. So if you're not one of those, make sure you are one of those. Go to goals. So our upcoming convention is coming to Knoxville, Tennessee, August 17th and 18th. That is free entry to all GOA members, or you can pay at the door to come in. Pre-registration is now open. We will have more hotels available on the website. So go to goals.gunners.org to go check that out and make sure that you attend. If you know a company that you think should attend, hit them up. Let them know that Goals is going on. They can get a hold of. They can also submit a vendor form through the same website, goals.gunowners.org. We are excited to have this first time show where we're going to have talks with Eric Pratt, content creators, a bunch of 2A advocates. We're going to have talks about how to become a better advocate, and also check out Fully Loaded Reviews. We've got a new video coming up here shortly, either this week or next week, and then another video after that with some stuff that I can't talk about yet. So I'm really excited about that new products coming out. Unfortunately, they're under NDA. So go check out Fully Loaded Reviews. If you want to check out what the pen gun looks like, go ahead, go to Fully Loaded Reviews. I did put a short up on the pen gun. So
it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, I remember you showing that video. Like, oh, did you see this? And I was like, why do I give a shit about a pen? And I was like, oh, now I see. It's like, was that like right upside down? And can you write in space? And you're like, well, you can do all those things and pew pew. Pew, 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 pew.
The comments on that short have been fantastic. Somebody said that they used them a lot. So. They were used a lot in Afghanistan to assassinate people, and then they told people they should go buck hunting with it. So I just had to laugh, and I really wanted to say some things, but I kept it very clean and nice.
Interesting buck hunting with that. Now I don't know if I'd do that, but okay, sure. Clove,
what?
Give you a few minutes to talk a little bit about what you got going on.
Right.
All that jazz. Go for it.
So first, for the third time, mandatory carry. Are you listening? Do you have a pen?
Well, to be fair, this is his third personality. So now all three of his personalities are hearing this. So they should be able to combine it and remember this now.
All right. So because I just did it for like the 5th time today and it come up fine. Dark, D-A-R-K, mountain, like the big rock structure, dark mountain. Stowaway. Isn't he a coastie? You already know what a stowaway is. Dark mountain stowaway. Bam. Comes right up. Actually, the first like 2, I think.
I'm actually gonna. Am I allowed to put? Can I put that link in the chat, or is that a no for?
You're probably not supposed to, but
okay.
You know, are you gonna get busted necessarily for it? No. Yeah. But yeah, Dark Mountain Stowaway.
Just Google Dark Mountain Stowaway. I did it, and it pulled right up.
Yeah. He said he got it.
He said he's back to the first one. Okay, now he's got it.
Yeah. Okay, so, man, that's crazy. We can hear that on this end, dude.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Surprised it still got power.
So, I think we ended up with 4 live streams, counting the one we did, the Ghost and Clover.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up with 4 live streams. Highly encourage you to go back and especially if you missed what Rob was talking about earlier on this, go back and kind of add to it. I had Rob live in the Avidity Arms booth Sunday after the members meeting, and he kind of went over some stuff he didn't go over here tonight. He kind of went over the history 2019 and leading up to everything. He kind of talked tonight about from here forward and the executive meeting or whatever yesterday.
Right.
So if you want context, add to the context of what he said tonight, check that one out for sure. 10 shorts dropped during the course of the weekend. And then earlier, the first of, I think, 8 longer videos dropped, and there'll be one a day. I try to get those show videos out as quick as I can because it's time sensitive. Who wants to see an NRA video during Christmas? You know, it's one of that. That one was with some 380s from EAA. A couple of the 380s that they debuted, I guess is the word.
Announced or something.
Friday, announced or whatever. Yeah. Just be looking for those to drop. There'll be a video every day, I think, for the until next Wednesday, I guess, or so.
There you go. Good stuff. I came home. Actually got the call Saturday, I think, or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. It was Saturday. Got a call Saturday. I think we were at the restaurant or heading to the restaurant or something. I got a call from my gun shop saying I got a rifle be picked up. So I went to pick it up yesterday, and I won't tell you what it is, but there will be a video here shortly coming out with it, and it's going to be really fun to mess with this one a little bit. We'll see how it works out, but I think there's potential of having some amazing things coming in to the channel from NRAAM that I can't wait to mess with. Really, really excited. Obviously, EA had a big weekend. Anderson had a big weekend of stuff. Really excited about the direction of SAR, just because like the 4 people that they brought in to head up this new team, I know all 4 of them and have for a while now, and I had no idea they were going there, much less going there together to really change a lot of stuff at the SAR. So I'm really looking forward to that. Clove, you said you had something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't think about this. I totally forgot it, but I was sent home from NRAAM with a 30 super carry upper,
Yes, you were.
and a couple extra magazines for the Avidity Arms PD pen. So
Yes,
as soon as I can find some freaking ammo, and it's driving me insane that I've got this, and it's like, I got to score some ammo somewhere. I'm going to actually get some extended time with 30 super carry, which I'm majorly excited about, because
absolutely, yeah.
I've been intrigued by that cartridge since it came out.
Yeah. I'll definitely be following along with that, because I am too.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about the cool thing I got at the show. There's a company called Stogie Mag, and they make magazine humidors that hold 5 cigars.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. That was awesome.
Dope. Yeah, I came home with one of those.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah, I did. You showed, was it Saturday or Sunday? Whenever I saw you had it with you, I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. G23 says I have an LGS that has 30 super carried stuff.
That don't help me, bro.
That's great, considering he's a couple thousand miles away. I'm sure you can find some somewhere. I know Federal's got some.
Maybe Rob took me over to Federal. That's what I'm getting, and I'm not going to go buy any, because Federal's more likely going to be sending me some anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure they could be willing to send you some for some testing as well. Yeah. So, anyways, I tell you what we're going to be doing. Like I said, we are now official members of the Firearms Radio Network. So go check out firearmsradio.net. I still continue to go check out Self Defense Radio Network. Some good people over there. Great podcasts over there as well. I will say this. Had a great discussion with Jeremy with Avant Link for 45 minutes to an hour in a private discussion on trying to figure out my affiliate game is so bad. And one of the things that we're going to start pushing was we're going to start, and I've never really had a presence. My presence on Twitter, or X, if you will, has basically been every time that I post something on Instagram, it migrates over to X. So that's kind of what it is. But I'm going to start being more active on X because they are allowing a lot more things that other platforms, social media wise, are not allowing. I had a post taken down today off of Instagram. Unfortunately, it was a thing about Anderson, and they did. I don't know, Kyle. Is it what I put? Is it about guns, or it says Anderson? I'm not real sure, but they took that shit down in about 10 minutes. So
I think it's the word giveaway. The word giveaway.
Probably the giveaway. So anyways, but no, we are going to start. So if you're over there on X, just search kind of Ghost Tactical, and you'll see our logo. And actually, I think it's at USMC Ghost, or I'm not sure. It's something like that. That's how bad it is. I don't even know like what the handle is, but I'm sure if you search Ghost Tactical Twitter, it'll pop up, or you can just go to the website, ghosttactical.us, and there on the homepage, I've got all my links. Go push that X. We're going to start doing some stuff with some daily and weekly deals over there on Twitter. We're also going to have a dedicated page. I've already got one, but we're going to start pushing some people to the website and all that for deals and all that. Because we can post those links and promos and all that for you guys on those platforms that you can't put other places. But yeah, looking forward to that. I was told that my Twitter game needs to step up incredibly hard or get left behind by many people. But Jeremy had some really good thoughts on some stuff we could do. So looking forward to that. Anybody else have anything? We good to go? All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Get to the range. Be more proficient with your firearms. Stay in tune with everything that's going on with your local, state, and federal 2A legislation. Make sure that your elected representatives are doing their job. And if they're not, guess what? 2024 is an election year. We can take care of that shit pretty quickly. Most importantly, enjoy your freedoms of being an American, one of which is to keep and bear arms. We'll see you next week. Happy Memorial Day. Once again, have fun. Enjoy the barbecue. Enjoy the fun with your family and friends. All I ask is, while you're having fun, remember why you're allowed to. All of those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for you to have your freedoms, that's what Memorial Day is about. Don't let it be a somber event. We're not asking anyone to be somber. Have fun. That's what they died for, is for you to have your freedoms and to enjoy being an American. But maybe a little toast for all that made the ultimate sacrifice this weekend. Thank you, everyone that gave their lives for this wonderful country. It may not be the country that it could be, but damn it, we're still the best country in the world. We'll see you next week. Semper Fi.